Hi guys. So yeah, this is the first video of my series. It's going to be a series on terrariums. It's basically going to be like, can I turn £200 into kind of like a thriving terrarium hobby and make some profits along the way? So yeah, let's get into the details. Right, so I guess we'll start on who I am. So my name's Joe. I've kind of been into houseplants, you can probably kind of see, for a few years now. And I've also been into terrariums, not as much, but I've really started to get into them recently. So I thought I would kind of pursue that. They say engage in YouTube. Well, I've kind of wanted to do YouTube videos, maybe make a YouTube channel on something for a while now. And they say do it on something you enjoy, and I enjoy terrariums. So yeah, I'm kind of new to it. Not completely new. I've made a handful before and I've sold a handful. But yeah, I think it was Stephen Bartlett who also said the best way to kind of grow and learn is to teach other people. So this YouTube channel will be kind of a or this YouTube series, sorry, will kind of be me learning and teaching and everything. So basically what it is I'm going to start with £200 and I'm going to kind of invest that into terrarium equipment and see what we can make and what we can sell. It's not necessarily going to be for profit. I don't want to turn this into a, this isn't going to be a series on how to make a living, how to get rich off terrariums. I mean, I don't even know if you could do that anyway, but it's not going to be about that. It's more going to be about kind of what I can invest the £200 into to kind of then sell so I can get cooler stuff. So what we can start out with, I know £200 is quite a lot, to be honest, compared to most people starting out, but I just kind of wanted to start with 200. I can get the equipment and stuff, get a nice amount of stuff, and then see what I can work myself up to. We start with little terrariums, but who knows, I might be able to get really nice plants, rarer plants, larger terrarium enclosures, all of this sort of thing. So that's what I kind of that's what my goal is along the way on this series. So it's going to be kind of like a part 1, part 2, part 3 series. The YouTube videos that I watch and really enjoy are series. So they're series on developments, refurbishments, projects, and I really enjoy them. So I thought, yeah, why not make my own little series? So it's going to kind of be, I think I'm going to call it Terrarium Chronicles, the Terrarium Chronicles, and starting with the £200 budget. So basically, can I turn £200 into a thriving terrarium hobby? So yeah, I'll go over a few things. I'll go over kind of what I've got so far and what I'm going to call it and what I've done so far. So kind of what I've collected and what I've done so far. Yeah, so let's get into some of those details. So kind of like my background story with terrariums is, yeah, I started to randomly get into plants and then I made a terrarium one day and it was really, really peaceful. I've kind of been, I've been into, growing up, been into kind of art and creating things a lot, but I kind of grew out of my interest for art. A lot of it was like graffiti and stuff. Maybe I just kind of outgrew it. Maybe it just was a bit too much for me now. It's kind of intense, those sort of hobbies. I mean, even just a painting, this painting and drawing just kind of doesn't interest me. I mean, I'm still into it, but it doesn't interest me as much. Kind of needed something relaxing that I really enjoyed and more of a process. So also creative, but also kind of more of a systematic process. And terrariums was really one that stuck with me. I find it really peaceful. It's what kind of has motivated me to make these this kind of YouTube series, and kind of I like creating content. I just like anything kind of creative, and I thought, yeah, I've always kind of wanted to make a YouTube channel. I was having a few issues, my mental health, and I had a therapist, and one of the things that the therapist said was kind of focus on what you enjoy, and I kind of had to ask myself, what do I enjoy nowadays? And I had to kind of find something, and terrariums was something that I kind of found was really peaceful and satisfying, kind of put me in a calm place, but also made me feel really accomplished. So yeah, and I feel like this YouTube video will kind of push me out and get me into making more stuff. So I've got this this summer house. As you can see, I've got some terrarium stuff here. This is where I make some stuff. But yeah, I'll go into that kind of later on in this video and the specifics of how I'm going to start off. So this is my first step. I've already made a few here. There's some plants here. I've got some jars here. So yeah, my first step was I've been kind of buying supplies. I've kind of done that prior to this video to make this channel, to be honest. But yeah, I thought why not? So I started a bit too late, but for the initial things. But I'll kind of go over my budget and what I've purchased and explain to you kind of the cost breakdown so far. So the budget is kind of been broken down into a few different things. The plants themselves, the tools that I need to kind of grow it, and then the design aspects. So I'll start with the design aspects first. I started with being image creator for the logos. So I thought about using my surname, which is Aguilar. It's a really cool surname. It basically kind of translates in Spanish to eagle, or in kind of Latin, haunt of eagles, which I thought would be awesome. So I kind of made some testers. If you can see here, I kind of put like create a round vector for a sticker for a terrarium brand, and I chose a bunch. So I made a bunch of designs. I basically chose my favorite ones, which I then emailed to myself. As you can see, the text is completely wrong, so I had to edit that. So then I went into my Adobe Illustrator and I edited the text. So I then went into my Adobe Illustrator. I then image traced them and vectored them up. This is one of them. It took way longer than I thought just to literally get the text sorted. Maybe that's me, just not being that good at Adobe Illustrator. I've used it quite a few times in the past, but yeah, maybe I'm not as professional as other people. But yeah, it took a couple of hours to do the text. So I had 3 of my favorites, which were these ones. I couldn't end up picking a favorite, so I couldn't just pick one. So I ended up going with all 3. So these are them. So yep, I made them. I then finalized them, made them transparent, and yeah, so these are the 3 logos. So what I then did was I got some sticker paper off Amazon, some blank sticker paper, some cheap sticker paper, and then I went around my dad's and I used his laser printer. So I printed off these stickers. As you can see, I've already used a few, but these are the final stickers to stick on the terrariums, either on the tops or the bottoms, just for the logo. So it's Aguilar Terrariums. Again, the Aguilar means kind of haunt of eagles, so that's my surname. I must admit, I am pretty proud of how awesome my surname is and what it means. So yeah, these are the logos. This is the sticker paper. My dad wasn't too happy with me using his laser ink, but hey, I managed to convince him to print off a few sheets for the time being. So yeah, these are the logos that I started with. Yeah, so now that I did the sticker design, I thought I need to get some tools. So obviously you need the terrarium tools like the tweezers and stuff. So I bought a kit off Amazon. I'll show you that here. So this is the kit that I bought. I bought this quite a while ago, but I'll just include this in the purchase. It's a really cool kit. I'll post all of the links in the descriptions below. But this is what I use to make the terrariums. I haven't needed anything else since. And also another thing that I thought I needed. So in the summer, you can go to shops like Morrison's and B&Q, and they've got tons of plants, which is, yeah, brilliant. But in the winter, they don't have any plants. And also they cost quite a bit of money. I mean, they're not too too expensive, especially compared to online, which is you're looking at about potentially 5 or so times more than if you were to go to Morrison's or something like that. So a plant that costs £1.20 in Morrison's will cost, this is UK prices by the way, will cost £6, £7, even £8 maybe offline for this little plant. But I thought even to save even more, I would start doing propagating and cuttings, especially for the winter. Not so much to save the money because they're so cheap anyway, but more in the winter when I run out of plants, I need my own kind of little factory of plant making, and I thought it would be cool to do the terrariums or the propagating alongside of terrariums. I just find it really satisfying growing things anyway. So purchased to start with. It is a seed propagating tray, and I've put this under my sofa. I'll go show you, but so far so good. I've propagated just a couple of little cuttings so far, which seem to be going very well. So yeah, I'll go show you that under my bed. I'll post a link in the description below again. On this, it's really well rated, and I've just tucked it under my sofa, which I think is a pretty cool place. Right, so if we go here, that's my dog Ralph. Say hello, Ralph. Right, so underneath this sofa, I've tucked away my propagating unit. So that's going to be one of the first videos, I think, to start off with the series, is to do the propagating. So this is, I've already kind of set up the sphagnum moss. So I've decided to use sphagnum moss as I've had really good results from using sphagnum moss in the past when it comes to propagating. These seem to cost nothing to run. They've got little trays in them. Yeah, and so far so good. So I think that's going to be the first video of the series, is the getting the propagating of the cuttings. I'll show you the plants that I've got so far that I'm planning on propagating. There's a couple of polka dot cuttings in there. So those were just literally from my terrarium that I've got myself. They were overgrowing, sort of. So I thought I'd cut them, put them in for the time being, but realistically, I wanted to save the rest of those cuttings for the video that I'm going to make for the YouTube for the next part of the series. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention, I also got some brown card. So I'll show you just here. Basically, I wanted to show people, I didn't want to leave people completely in the dark when it came to actually selling them. So what I did was I went on ChatGPT and I just kind of said, how can you care for your terrarium? Can you make me a little thing? So I printed some on white card first, but I thought it'd be nice to get some brown card. So this is kind of just like how to care for your terrarium. I got some of this card, put it in the price breakdown. And if you can see here as well, I need to get some brown string, but you can see, let's try and put it against. So can you see like a little leaf? Like a little leaf hole puncher. Got that off Amazon as well. But yeah, so I've got the card and I'm just going to tie these to terrarium. So when I sell them, because I've had a few people just ask me, like, how do I look after them? Are they straightforward or not? And pretty much they are self-sustaining, but you do have to do some things, or you have to act upon some things if you know they overgrow, or if they get a bit of mold in them or something like that. So that is another aspect of the design part. So yeah, I've got these. Just a quick one, these are my tools. I also added a paintbrush in there because that's just handy, whether it's either poking or just kind of brushing stuff in the terrariums. So that's the toolkit I was talking about before. So another really important thing is, of course, the soil mix. So I make my own soil mix. I use Serpa Designs soil mix, which is a mixture of cocoa coir and so it's a mixture of cocoa coir, perlite, trying to think now, cocoa coir, perlite, activated charcoal, sphagnum moss and sand. So I mix that up into a batch. So I think what I'll do is, in another future video as well, I'll explain how I make this, but I'll put in the cost breakdown. Let's get you in focus. So I'll put in the cost breakdown kind of each individual ingredient. Another thing that I need to have is we've got the stones. So I like to use white spar. I've used a lot of this already. I got this quite a while ago. So I got this from B&M. You can get it from B&Q and stuff. And this is, I won't get it out now because it's quite messy. It's quite, let me show you. So that's, you see it's kind of like white stones. So an example would be here. So you look at these terrariums, just down there, they're the stones, the white spar. So they're just they go on the base layer. Another thing to make is we need a kind of like a mesh sheet. So that's another thing that I've got. So I've got that somewhere lying around. Let me just get that. So this is the mesh sheeting. So this goes in between the pebbles and the activated charcoal layer. So that's another thing, but I've just kind of said that before actually. So it goes the stones, mesh sheet to stop the activated charcoal and soil from slipping through, and then the activated charcoal, then the soil, and then whatever you want to put on top. So yeah, I needed that. I've got the activated charcoal. It's in a box over here actually. So I've got the activated charcoal. I got a big box, but I'll only, I think, allocate a budget of £10. I just got a big box because it was cheaper to get it in bulk than it was individually, considerably cheaper. But I'll kind of allocate £10 to the budget. The white spar, let's just say a new bag because I've only got a little bit of that left from years back. Sphagnum moss, I got a new batch. Cocoa coir, I've got a bunch of that from before. That's super cheap, so I'll just include that in the price. And then next we've got the plants and we've got the glass vessels, the jars. So these are some of the jars that I got the other day. I got these from, where did I get these from? I got these from the range. I got these from the range. Oh, if you can see here, these are some terrariums that I made before. So these jars I actually got from Poundland. I just stuck the stickers on top. So these are some pre-made ones that I already made. I'll go into them a little bit later. So yeah, these are some of the jars that I got. I'll include these in the cost breakdown. These weren't too cheap. They weren't expensive, but they weren't necessarily very cheap either. I've got this big one as well. I don't know whether I'm going to cork it or leave it open. I think it might just be fine open. If not, I could just find a cap for it that will fit. Yeah, I'll find one of them from somewhere. So yeah, these are a few of the jars that I've got so far. Other than that, I got a few off the local Facebook marketplaces as well. So here are the demijohns that I got from the Facebook marketplace. If you can see actually underneath there is some of the white spar. I've just used that in the garden, but that's the same stuff that I use in the terrariums. But these are just I got these for super cheap. I paid £10 for all 6 of these. So these are some other jars that I'll be turning into terrariums. I've made these into terrariums in the past and they look super nice and you can sell them for a good markup. And other than that, I got this cool little set as well. So I got this off the Facebook marketplace again, and then I was like, oh god, it's a bit small. But I can turn these upside down and make cool little things. And also with this, I think in another video in the future, I want to make like a little raised, like kind of forest, using little J plants, which I will explain now as the next part will be, this is the last kind of glass terrarium that I've got. So the next part will now be the plants that I've managed to source. So these are some of the plants that I've got so far. So I got these through from B&Q. They weren't cheap, but it looks like there's a lot of them in there. So I'm hoping that I can kind of break them up and there'll be like maybe 5, 6, 7, these little plants. So these are kind of like Phytonias, nerve plants. They're great for terrariums. Got some here, got some ferns. Got these cool things as well. So these are from Morrison's, these ones, some polka dots. So I plan on propagating those. So I'm going to make cuttings of them. I also got all of these. These are from Poundland. These were £1 each. They look a bit dried up, but I've put them into these terrariums that I got from Poundland, and they're doing really well actually. I know people say that succulents shouldn't really go in terrariums because they're more of a dry plant, but they're doing really well. I've also got some free plants that I've collected as well from kind of when I've been on dog walks with Ralph, my dog that you saw earlier. So I saw these on Worcester Terrariums, I think that's what it's called. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but ever since I saw a video from him, I've been collecting that stuff. And also my moss. I've got my moss and some other little succulents I'll show you now that I've managed to collect for free from when I've been out and about. So these I found on the side of a bridge, railway bridge, these succulents. And I've also been collecting moss. It's a bit wet now, but I've got some starter moss here that I've been collecting. Some random, I can't remember what this is called, and also some normal moss. It's a bit wet, but it seems to be doing really well regardless of how wet it gets. So this is what I've been using for my terrariums. This is all free that I've collected from out and about. Got this Boston fern, £5 the other day. So I'm going to break this up. It's looking a bit dry. So I'm going to break this up into little bits and I'm going to propagate that as well because ferns look great in terrariums. So I'm going to cut it right back and each individual little bit I'm going to propagate. I don't know how you make more of this stuff because you can't just make cuttings from ferns. So regarding the other ferns and this fern as well, if anyone knows how to kind of, I mean, I know how to kind of make, kind of propagate what I've already got and grow what I've already got. But if anyone, so kind of break it up and grow more, but if anyone knows how to kind of make more, as in multiply this stuff, it'd be great if you could post in the comment section on how I can turn this into kind of more. I guess maybe I just break it up, grow that. When that grows bigger, break that up and do that. I think that may be how I do it. But if anyone knows, then that'd be great to get some advice on that. And then these are the last of the plants, the polka dots. So I've got some polka dots. I've got this one. This is a pretty cool plant. So these are from Morrison's as well. So these I'll be making cuttings of and propagating. Some of them are looking a bit unhealthy. I've got them underneath a grow light. So yeah, that's all my plants. These are just in the bathroom with high humidity. So what I'll do now is I'll go into the cost breakdown. So yeah, everything I've just shown you is what I've purchased so far within the budget. And then there's some things that I've purchased in the past that I'll add to the budget that I just, yeah, want to include, like the activated charcoal, the stones, and the soils. What other things are there? Yeah, so basically what I'll do is kind of make a spreadsheet now going over all of the different things and kind of what we're into so far. And I'll also show you what I've already made and made a little bit of profit on so far. Yeah, which I've sold a few things so far, which is pretty cool. So, finally done the spreadsheet. Right, so if I flip this over, so, oh, what's this? So, turns out I've actually gone over the £200 budget, but that is because of the previous stuff that I'd bought before that I'd included. So things that I already had. But so if we just want to go through the price breakdown, I've got the blank stickers, the leaf hole punch, the Amazon, the equipment, we've got the containers, we've got the plants, we've got the charcoal, or the substrate, sorry, we've got the substrate, the plants, containers and the equipment, as well as the design. So this all came down to £232.47. So far I've sold two things. So I've sold a dome jar terrarium for £20 and a small jade plant terrarium, one of the ones that I got from Poundland. So that's £28. So that totals £204.47. So let's start from here. Let's say £204.47 then. But this does include stuff that I previously purchased in the last kind of year or so. Like I had the tools before. I had the like activated charcoal and the white spar and stuff. But yeah, so we're £232 in so far. £28 sold, which leaves us at £204 so far. £204.47. So just quickly to summarise, I've gone over kind of the total. So for design, I've spent £19.64. For the equipment, I've spent £35.97. That's like the wire mesh, the grow lights, and the terrarium toolkit. The containers, I've spent £69.28. The plants, I've spent £58.60, but we should be getting the rest of them for free because we're propagating them, other than the ferns, which I'm still yet to kind of figure out how to produce more of them myself. So any comments in the comment section with advice would be brilliant. And then the substrate we spent £48.98 on. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown on the individual sections. Right, so going over what I've made and sold so far. So I've made these two little terrariums. I made 3 of these actually. So 3 of these. I'll post a proper in the next clip. I'll post a proper kind of image. So I made 3 of these, and I've listed them at £8 each, and I sold them for I've sold one so far for £8, and I've also made a dome terrarium which I've sold for £20, which I'll post in the clip now whilst I'm talking and explaining it. So yeah, £28 so far, and these are the things that I've made so far. So now really it's what to expect from future videos. So I want to be doing this this series. This is part 1, I guess, the introduction, but I want to be doing this series where I kind of go down the route of kind of this challenge, the Terrarium Chronicles. It's the £200 challenge, £232 challenge, just to see what I can make, see where this leads me really, and I want you guys to kind of follow me on the journey, so we can just kind of go on this journey together, see where it takes us, see what awesome stuff we can make in the future, what we can learn, what I can teach you guys, and what you can teach me. Yeah, other than that, I want to kind of make, I guess, ASMR videos, the actual making of the terrariums. There's no point in sitting there and talking through. I guess I could do a tutorial video on how to make one, things like that. So outside of the series itself, I kind of want to just do relaxing. I really enjoy watching like people make terrariums and make other things on YouTube, kind of in a relaxing way. Maybe a bit of chill music in the background, not necessarily talking, but then also like kind of tutorial videos. So just a bit of everything really. So other than the actual series, just a bit of everything. So yeah, it would be absolutely brilliant if you did like this video, if you're interested to see my journey, if you'd like to subscribe. And yeah, I've got that question about the ferns and the so the asparagus ferns, as well as like the Boston fern and stuff. How do I make more of them? I know how to break it up and kind of grow them, cut them down and grow them smaller, but how do I kind of make more? Because I understand you can't take cuttings of ferns. So yeah, that'd be interesting. Have you got any ideas on what I can do for future videos? If you've got anything that you want me to cover, yeah, that'd be brilliant. Just let me know. I'm going to be making a TikTok and an Instagram page, and probably a Facebook page. So I won't do that just now. Let's get this video edited up, and I'll do them. So I'm hoping to release a few more videos very soon. I've got a few things in mind, like I said, with that like little jade plant forest. I want to make kind of an ASMR video of that. That would be really cool, with that little jar set that I got for a £5 off the Facebook Marketplace. I want to say I appreciate that you've watched this video up until now, and that you're obviously interested. And yeah, just subscribe if you want to see more of me doing these videos, and keep an eye out for the next video. So yeah, thank you guys. This is Joe at Aguilar Terrariums, and this is my first introduction video on the part 1 of the Chronicle, the Terrarium Chronicles, the £200 challenge. Thanks, guys. Oh, and also just before I finish, a quick one. I want to do kind of videos on, like, so for example, my beautiful monstera, but plant videos as well. Oh, this is also one that I want to take cuttings of. This one, but yeah. So like for example, these need to be repotted soon, so I can show you how to make some soil, so things like that. Yeah, but yeah, also houseplant videos. is something that I want to cover. So yeah, that was just a quick PS just to say houseplant videos also as the terrarium, but mainly the terrariums. But yeah, if you like this video and you want to see more, give me a subscribe, comment on the comment section if you wanted to have any questions that you wanted to ask, or if you just wanted to let me know how you think of the video, what recommendations you can suggest for me improving, or what you'd like to see. But yeah, give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a thumbs up, whatever you do. Just yeah, engage and help me grow the YouTube for Aguilar Terrariums. Thanks guys.